We're talking about the lady who bought the ink cartridge at Target, got home, and clearly there must have been some thievery going on, and it looks like the item was returned as it was empty. It had a cheap, what was it, a USB hub inside?
Mm-hmm. A 4-port USB hub.
And it was worth about, 99 cents versus the cartridge that this senior citizen purchased, which was $37. I think it was $40 or something with tax. Anyway, she ended up getting nowhere with Target at all, and finally called her credit card company, and she was refunded her money. Turns out the credit card company, it was a Target credit card. Apparently, A isn't talking to B in Office, C isn't talking to Office A. What gives here? How do you deliver that customer service? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just bizarre. And you know what? I would be more understanding if, like, let's say I came in, like a guy in his young 30 came in and was like, hey, I bought this cartridge, it's got this thing, and I want my money back.
Like because you look like a scammer.
Well, thank you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way.
I would just say, I know you can't profile and all this stuff, but I would say I'm more in the category of someone.
A senior citizen woman
right.
walking in probably isn't going to be
running a con of some kind.
Yeah.
Right.
And
not to say that there's never been a senior citizen woman who's scammed somebody.
But the responsibility is on the store. If you're selling a product that doesn't have the product in it, then you haven't delivered what you sold. You have no choice but to either give them the product or give them their money back. So if it is true that someone bought the cartridge, took it out, put in some cheap USB, glued it back together, and then returned it, if that is true, the fault lies with the people at customer service at Target.
Right.
The new customer, shouldn't be penalized for it.
And I would be even understanding if they said, all right, listen, we'll exchange it or we'll return it, but give us your name or give us some type of identification.
Have you ever returned anything? You always have to pull out a driver's license.
Oh, you do?
License, yeah.
Okay.
You have to sign, what was wrong with it. It doesn't work, whatever. And I have no problem doing that because I'm not cheating anybody out of anything. And, but, was that not done? Is that not part of the policy? Do they not even care? I would say if you're bringing something back and it's an ink cartridge like that, open up the cardboard container. Oftentimes you see these products in stores where they've been taped back shut and resold. Mm-hmm. Open up the container and make sure that at least that vacuum sealed package, that foil package, is there on the inside. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty easy policy. You don't blame it on the customer because then it ends up, you never know. Maybe they're a quiet customer. Maybe they just go quietly. Maybe they just so happen to feel like they know a radio host enough where they can send them all the information and it gets talked about. You never know what turn these things are going to do every time you deal with a customer.
Which, by the way, I've been in, usually I do exchanges. That's why I didn't know that you had to provide ID in some cases when you return something or exchange. Right?
Even with exchanges, I think I've always had to, do you have a driver's license or something like that?
But, I mean, I've seen in the customer service line, some of the boxes and packages that come
Terrible.
back,
Yeah.
they're ripped up.
Mm-hmm.
You can clearly see something's been broken. I'm not saying it's the customer who broke it, but they're like, all right, just put it on the table here, and I'll give me your receipt.
It is a real problem because I spoke with a guy just recently who said he bought a suit, and he wore the suit for the honest to God, he wore it at the wedding, and then on Monday after the wedding, he returned it and said he didn't like the suit, and they gave him his money back. So this crap happens. It's terrible, but it happens, and stores have to find a way to prevent it from happening. But you've got to also protect your customers, I would think. Other issue that was big, and we were asked why we weren't talking about it, and we're going to get into it coming up if you like, is the issue of the transgender bathrooms. It seems that President Obama is using yet another executive action to, and really it's an interpretation of the 1964 Civil Rights Law. And they're saying that if you do not let a kid who maybe sees himself born a boy but sees himself a girl, if you do not let that child use the ladies' room in a school, then you're in violation, and state funding or federal funding could be cut. So what do you think about it? What do you think? 7360186. It's a big one. And I'm not sure that there's an easy answer out of this whole thing because it does have many complications. The whole thing adds so many different complications because now you're dealing with juveniles. And I don't know, it's hard enough to keep the boys out of the girls' bathroom in the first place, let alone with this option now, because kids at a certain age are a little nutty, a little tough to maintain. We'll talk about it when we come back. 7360186. Partly cloudy today with some rain, windy conditions. We'll get up near 60 degrees, and we did, it's true, have some reports of some light snow falling in New Hartford and in Clinton and other areas earlier this morning. But that's all going to go away. Great weather is on the way sooner or later at WIBX.